Hey Ty, how are you doing?
Good, yourself?
I'm doing very well, thanks. It's been a while since I've seen you, so this is awesome. We can catch up.
I agree.
Great. Okay, so let's just get started by, I guess I kind of introduced you, but um, who are you?
I'm Ty Scratch. I'm a former grad of UMEI. I spent my grade 12 and 13 year at UMEI. I spent grades 9 through 11 at LDSS. I transferred after my grade 11 year. I didn't feel like I was getting the help I needed, so I transferred to UMEI. It turns out I had classes of 6, 7 kids, and I was able to stay after school, lunch help. Even in class, I was able to get more focused help. Even kids in my class were helping me because it was such a good learning environment that uh, everyone understood where you're coming from and everyone's working the same goal.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, so we don't have a ton of transfer students, so it's always good to chat with someone who transferred and kind of has experienced the public system and then come to UMEI and
Mm-hmm.
experience kind of what we're having there. So you kind of dove into it, but I'm just going to ask you why. So you chose UMEI for what were the reasons you decided to transfer?
I I felt like I wasn't getting the help I needed at LD since there was 30, 35 kids on a class, and I kind of felt like I was on just kind of swept under the rug
Mm-hmm.
going along. And it happened during the administration strike when teachers were only working hour to hour, and they weren't working after hours. So I couldn't get any tutoring that way.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, then so I transferred over because I was told at UMEI the teachers stay right up until all hours of the night to help you, which I saw that with Mr. Fittler. He has this policy. I don't know if he still has it, but it was if you call at 9:29, he'll stay on the phone with you till midnight, or if you show up at his house at 9:29, he'll stay with you until whatever project or science question he has is over. And so I utilized that a few times, and even on weekends, I was able to get a hold of my teachers, which was just amazing because those 2 days on the weekend, sometimes you're lost with your homework or projects or anything, and so I found that really, really helped just my learning experience and just being efficient.
Yeah. Okay, that's awesome to hear. I did not know this rule about Mr. Fittler. Now everyone will, though. Well, everyone who watches this. So, while you were here, probably you heard the term, the UMEI difference, and that was kind of a slogan of ours for a while. And so, coming from another school, you can kind of speak to this difference. So, I feel like you've kind of touched on it, but do you want to just kind of talk about the differences in maybe academics and sports and, like we talk a lot about the UMEI culture and what that is. So in the community at UMEI, do you want to kind of speak to that?
Yeah, I mean, uh, as far as school and sports go with academics, I saw I got the chance to play basketball in my grade 13 year that I never had in my life because I was always playing hockey. But also, just I was able to show up to team tryouts, and team tryouts was everyone gets a jersey and everyone gets to play, and I really enjoyed that because it gave myself and other kids that never played basketball in their life a chance to go out and put themselves out there,
Mm-hmm.
and really come in together as a team because it was the most fun on a sports team I've ever had in my life. I mean, we were pretty competitive. I know in the last 2 years here, the boys sports teams and volleyball, basketball, and soccer, they've been doing pretty good. And with the sports side, it was really phenomenal for kids that don't get a chance to play. I did track in grade 12. I did shot put, and the track team is a little bit smaller, but there's a lot of individual coaching and stuff going on, and I really enjoyed that as well. Coming as from a smaller school, compete with bigger schools.
Mm-hmm.
With sports and academics, I found that there's always something going on, and the school is so busy all the time that you had to keep up with your schoolwork. You had to keep up. You had to have a certain grade point average. I forget what it was now. I think it's 60 or 70 or 50. I forget what it is now, but
Some number.
something like that. I know I capped it, so it was at least above 70. So with that, it kind of helped me transition in college with that because you're always busy.
Mm-hmm.
And being always busy, keeping your schoolwork in and done and stuff, it just kind of made that transition a little bit smoother there. I mean, we were pretty involved with the community. We would have days where we went out to help the public. I think, what's that day called again?
The Service Project Day.
Project Day.
Yeah.
I know we had that. I enjoyed that. We got to reach out to the community. We went to, what's that? The dried fruit place.
The Gleaners. The Gleaners.
Gleaners.
Yes.
We went to Gleaners. That was a pretty cool experience, getting to use knives and stuff. I don't typically get at other school.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it was just field trips like that was just amazing. Like, I think we went to school less than I did in public school when I was at public high school. My first year in grade 12, I think even the first 3 months I was in school for maybe 2 full weeks.
So you're pretty busy.
And it just breaks up the academics. Like, it keeps you're not stressed out about academics because there's always a stress relief there.
Mm-hmm.
And it made it more enjoyable because the field trips were going on was actually what we were learning.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know we went for physics class, we went bowling, and we tracked some other stuff. Math class, we were throwing paper airplanes off the top of the building.
Mm-hmm.
Biology class, we went to a vet clinic in Essex. I'm trying to think of anything else. What field trips we had? The A Club, we went to the plow show.
Mm-hmm.
12 year, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff, but it was just we were out there. We weren't like trapped in the school all day, and it wasn't you had to take certain classes for certain field trips. Most of the school went on most of the field trips.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we went to Chicago in my grade 12 year, and that was just out of my comfort zone because I've never been to anywhere else other than Detroit once in a while or Ontario. And so Chicago was a really cool experience, and part of like the history class, got to see all the monuments and stuff and learn about the culture and stuff. And before coming to UMEI, I thought these kids were just stuck on the 6th concession and they didn't do anything other than school.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's all I heard was these kids go to school and these kids are really smart. But I show up and it's just 50 or 60 of me. It's just a bunch of kids going to school. It's nothing. It's nothing different except for, I don't know. Like, I felt I experienced more in the 2 years I was there than I was the 3 years at the public school.
Mm-hmm.
I think I went on 2 or 3 field trips during the 3 years I was there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think in the first month I took 3 or 4 field trips just at UMEI.
Yeah.
And so I really enjoyed that because we weren't sitting behind a desk all day.
Mm-hmm.
It was really cool. Really
right.
cool.
Yeah. That's, we hear that from a lot of students. It's the off-campus trips, kind of tying in the academics and what you're learning in the, from the books into kind of real life application.
Mm-hmm.
I know. That certainly helps me learn.
With our, we had a math fair project. I know math fair and science fairs always sound boring and whatnot, but me and my partner, another transfer student, Emilio, we're shooting cannons, shooting potato cannons at paper mache boats and pirate ships and stuff, and that was part of our math class. So we had to focus part of that on. So I mean, like, at the public school, like, they didn't really give us a chance to fire off weapons at school and stuff like that. So
there's a sentence.
So I like, it's just like small projects like that, like the hands-on stuff and like chem lab and stuff like that. Like,
mm-hmm.
the lab class is just phenomenal because chemistry class and biology class, we have hands-on experiences almost every week. We're either mixing stuff up to blow it up or make it different colors,
mm-hmm.
or blowing pumpkins, dissecting pigs, cows' hearts, like cows' eyeballs. I don't know. There's just so many different things that we did. It was just, again, like, I felt like I experienced more in one biology class than I did the 3 or 4 science classes I took at the public school. Just because there's so few of us in the class, there's more resources available to us,
mm-hmm.
and more materials for us to experience. Where at the public school, we had to watch a teacher do a demonstration in front of us, and then we had to do a report about it. Where at UMEI, I was able to actually do it, and then we do a lab report on it, but I actually learned more because I was hands-on and then transferring it.
Right.
So.
That's awesome to hear. And I imagine, I understand you're in nursing now. You're in your second year of nursing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Second semester,
did
second
you
nurse.
did you find the science classes at UMEI kind of, helped you with that the transition into nursing school?
Oh, for sure. Like I took a organic chem class second semester first year, and I used all my notes from my grade 12 chem class from Fittler.
Yeah.
All his organic notes and what was on the exam and stuff. Like he was teaching in the first 3 weeks what I was learning by the 10th week of 12 weeks in my university chem class.
Awesome.
Like, so it was just a breeze. I think I finished like an 85 in that class or something like that. It was just...
Yeah, and organic chemistry is a tough class.
Yeah, it was just phenomenal. It was like I just opened up his notes and went through because he broke them down step by step and how everything works, and I didn't use my prof's notes for it. It was just really relatable. And then biology class, like since I was able to actually experience what a heart looked like, how it worked, how lungs worked, I actually got to play with lungs, got to play with intestines and stuff like that, and really that over to like the part of my anatomy course where it was focused on organs and stuff. It was just so simple because I had that tactile experience, and I was able to just apply it to paper after because it was stuck in my brain because it was something I actually experienced, actually did.
Right.
And then my other science course I took at UMEI was exercise science, and that helped immensely. For one, the way that Mr. Baltz taught it, where he had a slideshow and you had empty notes, like slideshows with empty spaces in them, and you had to fill out as he was going, as he was talking and stuff. That's exactly what some of my profs had done at the college. And that's, I mean, that really helped because that was the first time I experienced where I had to fill out notes as the teacher was talking.
Right.
And now that I had experience with it, I transferred to college, and I'm able to take notes as the prof is talking. I'm actually able to retain it because I practiced before.
Right.
But his class was, his final exam was probably word for word, basically what one of my midterms was for my anatomy course second semester.
Yeah.
A lot of it just, like, I think the first half of Mr. Ball's class was the first half of my first semester, and then second half of his class transferred to second semester.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was really,
I mean,
like, it was just secondhand. I think I wrote one of my midterms that was 56 questions in 8 minutes or something like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that's really...
It was just so easy. It was actually harder to study for it than it was to write it because it was just so boring to go over for the 18th million time.
Yeah.
It was just, no, it really helped. So.
Well, that's awesome.
Really enjoyed it.
So, okay, so you kind of talked about the sports and, kind of doing those service projects and how you enjoyed that. Then you talked about academics. Do you want to talk about, you came from LD, which had, maybe 900 or more students, and then you're joining in grade 12, a class that already knows each other and a school that knows each other. But, like UMEI, we talk about the community there. How was it to kind of like jump into something that had already been developed and like you enjoying that?
It felt like I was walking in first day of grade 9 with everyone else. I mean, I walked in first day and I had Andrew Dyke come up to me and shake my hand and give me a hug and welcome me to school. And
yeah,
I remember that. I remember that like it was like happened yesterday. I walked through the front door as I was walking downstairs. He said, "Oh, you must be Ty." And I basically had a welcoming committee there for kids I didn't know their first name or anything, and so learning names was a curve, but there was only 10 kids in my class, so I picked that up pretty quick.
Yeah, that makes it easier.
Oh, for sure. But I mean, it was just like even the grades 10s and 11s, they welcomed the grade 9s into it. Like it was like they'd been in that position just yesterday, and I was fortunate enough to know a few kids in the school, but even the kids that I didn't know welcomed me, if not even more. Just it was I gotta say, like the first 3 weeks, it was I posted something on our Facebook group about how I really enjoyed the welcoming. because it was just a smooth transition. I had people talking to me. I was invited to a few after-school things with my classmates, as if I'd been there, and it wasn't as if I'd been there my whole life. It didn't feel like I was dropped in the middle of nowhere, and I'd find my own way. Where I've seen a lot of kids struggle in public school doing that. Like a new kid comes in a class of 35, and you have 4 different classes a day with 35 different kids every class.
Right.
So trying to make friends that way is really tough. I've seen kids struggle doing that have come halfway through the semester or beginning of grade 10 or 11 year. So when I came, it was just everyone kind of came to me, and I don't know. I made some really good friends.
Yeah.
I still have good friends now from that class. So.
That's awesome. Yeah. So it sounds like it was just an easy transition. You were welcome into the school community. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have another question for you. So I asked this to a number of people, kind of off the cuff to see what they say. So what's the first word that comes to mind when you think of UMEI?
Family. I would have to say it's just a huge family. I've never had people that care more about me and actually have a genuine interest. Not only the students, but the teachers as well. Even Principal Miss Bedell. I can remember a number of occasions at lunchtime. I'd be in the gym eating my lunch or something like that, or watching someone play basketball at lunchtime, and I should be watching them too, and we'd strike up conversation for most of the lunch, and we do that numerous times, and there was a genuine interest there. And even some of the other parents that volunteer at the school and stuff, they'd stop and say hi and introduce themselves and tell you who their kid was, and just talk to you as if you've been their kid's classmate for the last 2 or 3 years, and everyone had a smile on their face, and it was just really, really enjoyable. It was pretty cool.
That's awesome. That kind of, to hear that is really encouraging for, kind of the atmosphere and the culture that we're developing, and we try and, hold on to at UMEI. So that's really cool to hear. Thank you. I just have one last question. And, I'm sure you experienced this, in your grade 12, then, coming on and doing another year in grade 13, you're thinking about college or university, and you're nervous, it's going to be difficult, and, it's like a totally new experience. Do you feel that UMEI prepared you for that next step for your post-secondary career?
Oh, for sure. Like I mentioned earlier about how busy the school is and how you have to keep up your marks and stuff to participate in other activities. The transition has been nothing to me. I keep all my same study habits. I'm not stressed out for any exams or anything because I'm able to prepare myself like I did for high school, and I'm still have a social life because that's what I learned at UMEI, how to balance school and social life and how to combine the two and how to combine sports and stuff like that. And the teachers, they've been able to stress how the profs are going to be teaching and how they're going to be implementing their exams and stuff like that. And then our teachers at UMEI have been able to mock their style of teaching and but also be helpful at the same time. So they're not completely on their own. And I found that transition, that part of it really helped. Was having someone kind of put you out there and try to put you on your own. But at the same time, if you had a question, they'd be right there to help you out. And I know Fittler stressed a million times about what you're going to see in science classes and college and stuff like that. And sure enough, I saw it.
Yeah.
And I text a few of my old classmates from my graduating year. Every time I see something that he mentions, and I just facepalm every time I see it because I don't want to admit that he was right. So hopefully we can cut that part out.
Yeah, we're gonna have to cut that out. We don't want his head getting any bigger than it is.
Need a bigger door.
Yeah. Well, Ty, this has really been a pleasure to chat with you, and I'm always curious to find out what our grads are up to and kind of once you're already in college and university and you're experiencing that, it's really interesting for me to hear, your reflection about your time in high school, because, those were important years. I know for me, they were some of the best years of my life, and I fully believe it's because of the UMEI experience and what was there. So kind of sounds like you just had a great experience at school, and we're really happy that you joined us, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I really enjoyed it. I mean, made a lot of memories there.
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of the better ones I have is probably finishing my last exam. I remember finishing my last exam, and as soon as I finished it, I kind of realized I was done high school, and I got a little choked up over it. And I went to tell Miss Bedell, because she had helped me so much, helped me and my family make transition to UMEI really smooth.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that they helped us and the transition that they made, I just went to her and talked to her, and just had a chat with her afterwards. And I was a little choked up, might have been a tear or two in there. And I just thanked her, because I wouldn't be in the nursing program right now where I'm at and doing so well if it wasn't for her and the family at UMEI. I mean, it was just takes a few people to make a huge change, and I think that's what UMEI really stresses is there may not be many of them, but the ones that are there do make a change,
Mm-hmm.
do make an impact on a lot of people's lives.
That's awesome.
So I just got huge thanks to everyone that helped me.
Oh, that's awesome. They are going to be pretty pumped to hear that, I'm sure. It's really nice to get that feedback afterwards. So I just want to thank you, Ty, for taking your time to chat with me, and I wish you the best of luck. You are heading to Windsor to finish your last 2 years of nursing, correct?
Correct.
Okay, well, good luck, and enjoy the rest of your school year.
Thank you very much. You as well.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.